And all I gotta say is you're my saving, yeah. Give me love, yeah. Give me joy. You give me more, 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 and never stop. All I am is part of you, and that's enough. And I know that you'll never give me up. When I raise, raise, raise on the part. This shall not be what it grows. I think it's it makes a perfect love.
I was a sinner, but the king still died for me. Jehovah Jireh, your Shekinah glory shines on me. Hey yo, Sally, I used to do crime with the baddie sitting in the back of the cabby with safety on. Oh, agape love, relentless love. Baptized, receive the ghost in the form of a dove. Daily, I give my wife and daughter kisses and hugs. It's crazy, cause growing up, my heart was hard with the tugs. Jesus, I'm being real, my heart beats for you. John 8:32, you help me seek for truth. Not Charlie stuff, but bringing Holy Ghost fire to boost the gospel, the realest love, and that's your BBC News. Give me love, give me joy. They say I'm so blessed and I enjoy. Let's get the Lamborghini out, not paranoid. If you give your heart to God, won't be destroyed. Give me love, give me joy. They say I'm so blessed and I enjoy. Let's get the Lamborghini out, not paranoid. If you give your heart to God, won't be destroyed.
Give me love, give me joy. Give me more, 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 and never stop. All I am is part of you, and that's enough. And I know that you will never give me up. When I raise, raise, raise at the heart. They shall love me what it grows. I can't it makes a perfect love. Give me love, give me joy. So much.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. How was yours?
It was really good. I gotta say, this was the best one I had in a long, long time. It was a good one.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, it was just like family was amazing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was. I was just like, everybody, all my daughters were there, all my grandchildren was there, my mother was there, and it was like no arguing, there was no fussing, there was no attitudes, it was just love. And it was the craziest thing is like I had my daughters in 11. I was like, I feel like we're in a Medea play.
Oh,
Because when they always go to that one scene where they always gotta have a church scene. They always gotta sing songs. Like that's what we was doing the whole time when it was just so good. And I'm just like, like my daughter asked me, she said, "What are you most thankful for?" And I was like this right here. Just like to be in a place where you can see where God restore.
mm-hmm.
That's a good thing. And and it's just like, it started with me and my mom. First, it started with myself first.
Mm-hmm.
And then with me and my mother, and then me and my daughters individually, and then it's like, them having their individual healing and them also healing and bonding with my mother again. So to see it all happen, and it's a great thing.
Yeah.
To watch the grandkids see it, they looking like, because everybody's been living different lives. So they've seen things differently.
Right.
So
right.
now how they see things now, they looking like, they waiting for certain things to pop off because they're used to how it is, and they don't see that. They see like God, and they just like, and you can see them looking like, what is going on? Like, yeah, there's another way. There's a much healthier and a much better way where everybody can get their feelings out, be okay with how they feel, and still walk away in love, because there is called healthy human discussion.
Right. That's right.
And we never weren't allowed to discuss how we felt or discuss things before.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good.
Man, that's good. I like that. That's good. There was a peace.
Yes, that's what it was, girl. It was a peace. And it was so crazy. Everybody was declaring the same thing. Like, I know I woke up, I told my grandkids for the rip, nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody's going to ruin my Thanksgiving. I'm going to enjoy my family. I'm going to have a good time. That's when I heard my daughter, she said, and I told y'all kids, nobody, and I'm telling y'all, nobody's ruining my Thanksgiving. I'm going to enjoy my family.
Right.
And it was so crazy. Then I heard my other daughter saying this. So it was like everybody was decreeing it. You know what I'm saying?
On accord. Yes.
Something different. And like we were saying it at different times, not even being in tune that we were in tune.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it was truly a blessing. And people don't understand, like, God can do anything. He can take a broken family and restore it and make it greater than what it was, and put it together the way it's supposed to be intended to be used for his glory. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's the great part about it. And then when you recognize that's why he kept us apart, had us fighting and feuding and thinking that the other one didn't love the other one, or I'm the black sheep, or all these different feelings and emotions and hiding all these different things and not nobody ever talking about it. We keep each other separated it because he knows that if you come together healed and whole and that anointing works, you would tear down some structures.
That's right. That's
And
right.
that's what it all boils down to. So that's why he really be trying to, he really does come kill, steal, and destroy families. And, and we don't, because we're misguided and we don't know. We just go with it. We fall for the okey doke. You know what I'm saying? And it's so sad. But the beauty is really that God really do give you beauty for ashes. Things that you thought was burnt up and destroyed and was just done and damaged. Oh my God. Let me tell you, God will make that wind blow on that thing.
A person who heals themselves can heal their family.
Yes. And that's why, that's what Jesus was trying to teach us. Like, I've just been having so many insights and epiphanies, like when he been just talking to me lately. Like, this is what he was trying to show us from the beginning. I have to be the sacrificial lamb. You're going to have to be the sacrificial lamb for your family. Somebody's going to have to be the sacrificial lamb in order for others to get it right.
Right. And not just in, and I think more so in different situations, it could be a different sacrificial lamb. It doesn't always necessarily have to be you, but you may have to always be the person who brings light to the situation.
Exactly. Something in that particular manner. Yes, absolutely. Somebody has to make the sacrifice. Somebody has to teach that lesson. Somebody has to plant that seed. Somebody has to water that seed. Somebody has to be that example. Somebody has to shed light on the situation, show it from a different point of view to get you to understand what the other person is saying. Somebody has to be that third party sometimes.
Right. That's right. And you got to know your position in that moment. And then what happens is when we're not honest with where we are in life, then we don't know our position in certain moments. And we're not able to receive what somebody may have for us.
That's very true. Yeah. And that's why we walk around in a daze or lost and confused. And because we're in those type of places, our minds can't function clearly enough to even get the concept of what God is trying to tell us who we are and what we can do and how we can really help others and how he's here to help us and pull us out of those situations and those things and to really forgive us. And he really wants to use us and that he really sees you. Even if the world is saying you're nothing, forget every lie that they're saying, because I come for you. I come for the rejected. I come for the broken. I come for the Gentile. I come for what people consider to be unclean. And when I say that anything that I create is not unclean, you best believe I create you, so therefore you're not unclean. So don't fall for the okie doke.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But we fall for the okie doke because it's so easy to believe that we're unclean, because you be like, oh, I was born into sin. But okay, you was born in it, that don't mean you have to live in it.
That's right.
Just because you was born in it and you might have slipped in it or you might have fell in it, but you don't have to stay in it.
That's right.
You don't have to become it. You don't have to allow it to consume you and become you and take over you. But sometimes we get so caught up in that, then we see ourselves as unclean and we don't think that we deserve a second chance or we don't deserve to be loved by somebody good. If you are a broken woman or a broken man and here's this good person that comes along to love you, you don't think you deserve that love from them because of what you did and what was you considered to be tainted because everybody else has told you that what it was, and I don't think you deserve to be forgiven when they don't know the whole story. But here you got God who knows the whole story, the beginning, the middle, and the end.
Right.
And he still calls you as unclean. Who cares what they say?
That's right.
That's that place we got to get to in our life, because then it stops it no longer hinders you from what you're supposed to be doing. It no longer hinders that restoration that needs to take place in you or your kids or your kid, your siblings or whoever, but it needs you to take the bait. To bite on to what God is feeding, to feast on what he's trying to give to you so you can become that different person. So when that restoration time comes, you can sit there and say, like, every last one of us, everybody comes saying, this was the best Thanksgiving I ever had. This is the best Thanksgiving we had in a long time. This is in a long time. This is the best one in a long time. We haven't done this since, but it was just like, and it was so needed. And it was so crazy because everybody was even talking about what was going to be the next year. Like, it was declarations being spoken. And I was like, I know that's right, God. We someplace different, because it would have been something different. My daughter even said, she said, Mommy, you know what? I didn't get sick this Thanksgiving. My one daughter, my second daughter would get sick every Thanksgiving, or she would bring such a damper into the room. She didn't do that. If anything, she participated with everything and everybody, and she actually brought a light that shined.
Good.
That was the beauty in that. To sit there and see that was beautiful to me, okay? My mama came in there, girl, with makeup on.
She was ready.
Yes. So you gotta know it only, and this is only funny to people who know my mom. My mom done really changed. My mom done changed up her wardrobe. My mom got lashes. I'm like, what is going on? She had her nails 2 different colors. I said, look at you, okay.
Yeah, she's feeling herself.
Yeah, she said it's time to live again, daughter. Like she said, it's been too long, and she said, and I'm enjoying my family. Like and like, you know, like she still loves God, but she's also embracing and letting go of the religion and seeing that I can laugh and still love the Lord. I can still do this and still, you know what I'm saying, be an example and not be that misguided person that continues to misguide others because I was misguided for so long. I can gravitate to the relationship and let go of the lie and gravitate to the truth and now show the truth the way it's supposed to be given for my age category. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I said, God, you better do this thing.
That's right. That's the truth. Anyhow, that's the truth. But that all started because one person decided enough was enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You decide enough is enough. I don't want to live like this anymore. I'm setting my boundaries. I'm not taking whatever I used to take in the past just to take it to keep the peace. I'm not doing that anymore because it's about me. And what you just described is everybody now is what is making me happy, not what I was told made me happy or what I was told should make me happy or what I was told things should look like because of this, because of that. But who I authentically really am. This is me, and I'm gonna show up as that person. And everyone accepted. Everybody who showed up authentically, you all were accepting of each other.
Yes, and that's what it was. And like, and it just felt so good, you know. And it's just like just that to be able to have those pivotal moments, like even while we were in there, like my mom stopped for a minute and was talking to my daughter, and she was pouring into her, and my daughter was crying, and you know while she was crying and she was saying, she said, everybody, nobody stopped it, everybody just kept doing what they was doing, but they let them have the moment, and you know even the kids was just like watching it, and it was so crazy because when we was down to the point of the praise and worship, I mean down to the baby who's only one, she came into the room and she started clapping her hands and stuff like that. My oldest grandson, like he was over there making beats, he was singing the high notes. I said, okay, God, you got generation on top of generation on top of generation here praising your name. Like this is amazing to me. We've never been in one room and done that.
Amen.
Do you understand that? Do you know how good that made me feel? Like, you know, people look for the trinkets and they be like, oh, God about to bless you. We're about to take you to a new season. And we just look for the financial part, or we just look for the tangibleness, or we just look for, okay, God won't pay my bills. But when he can start in your mental and he can start in your in your spiritual and your physical, and he can take it into your family, and it's an overflow of a healing and of a restoration and of a change of everybody's mindsets coming together. And it's really a love thing. And people really not looking at each other or judgmental for each other's mistakes, but truly forgiving one another and recognize, listen, I walked in your shoes. I know what it is to be in a pile of poop sometimes, but I'm still loving you and genuine. You know, my daughter was away and she celebrated 3 years of Thanksgiving with different families, and those families, she had to learn they were very toxic, and it was something hard for her, but it also made her appreciate her family, because when she was around us, she was that toxic person. So God had her in a situation, so when it was time for her to come home at the right time, see, because she couldn't come back to us until the right time, and when she came back, she came at that pivotal time to appreciate what she had and recognize what she was searching for was always right there.
Right.
The problem wasn't us, the problem was her. We wasn't rejecting her, she was rejecting us.
Yeah. Well, because again, that's because of what the outside world made her think family should be like. And when we're so used to pleasing the outside world or getting our validation from outside, because it had to take me the same. My 10 years of wilderness had to really show me that, whoa, you know what I mean? Let me get myself together. And that's really what it came down for me. I was like, you know what? Let me get myself together before I can even look at my family and be like, oh, you do this and you do this and this is wrong and da 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 da, because that's what I was doing all my life. That's what I was doing all my life with my family. Oh, well, you talk to this person this way and you talk to me that way. Comparison, you know what I mean? Oh, you're a Christian mom, but yet you don't treat me like you treat them, you know, that type of thing. But I had to go out into the world and see that she raised me right. She's not perfect. It was my view on things. It was my jealousy, my insecurity, my this, my that. And yes, some things, you know, she played a part in, but I had to deal with my part.
Exactly.
And once I dealt with my part, that's when the healing started from within. And then I was able to, okay, well, that area was clear. So now I can come back, you know what I mean, and be around Not like asking permission to be around, you know what I mean? Like, oh, do you guys want me here? You know, that type of thing. No, I deserve to be here because I'm part of the family. Now let's get this right.
That's right.
Let's get this right so that we can be together because I need my family.
Exactly. And that's the great thing that's the thing that, I feel like God is really doing with a lot of people in this season. He's restoring family. He's making it big things that you didn't think possible. And he's doing it for the willing people. Let's be clear about that. Okay. He's doing it for those who are willing, because you got people who, there's some people in the family who are willing. There's some people that still fighting you to the nail and they refuse to bend. But those who are willing, he's restoring, he's doing something new. And he's going to continue to use those people to be that example. But anybody who's willing, they're welcome into the fold. You understand what I'm saying? Because they be like, I want a piece of that too. Because sis, it's been dark over here for a long time and it's been lonely without you. I miss my sister.
That's right. That's right.
I miss us having those good times. I miss the things that we grew up with the cousins, and now my kids is missing their cousins. Like I listen, I grew up with my cousins, my kids miss their cousins, but I don't want my grandkids to miss that. So we gotta fix this. And get it right the way it's supposed to be, because like my children don't know my family. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm an only child, so we consist of the family.
Yeah, you are.
And if somebody was like, my daughter was saying, her friend was like, "Oh, you gonna have 11 people at your house? I'm having 11 people in my house too." My daughter said, 11 people, sweetheart. It's 13 kids alone. Like she's like, I forgot how big your family really is, and that's coming from a person of one. You understand what I'm saying? So 13 grandchildren, 5 daughters. So you know what I mean? Like, my daughters missed that gap where they got to grow with their cousins. I grew up with my cousins. My kids didn't get to grow with my cousins' children.
Right.
Because we all separated. We all in our different ways. We were all in our own wilderness experiences. We were all living life our own different way, and we moved away and separated, and we didn't keep that attachment. Right. And then my one cousin, we do talk, but I'm not close to my family like that. So the only family blood biological family that I have that I'm close with, that I'm with, that I talk to on a regular daily basis is my mother and my children. Yeah. And it's a hard thing. So when I was married into a family. I was welcome into a family that was loving. So, so to be separated, to get divorced out of 20 years of being with that, you lose that. Right. Now don't get me wrong, they're still loving on me and loving and welcoming to me, but at the same time, I have to recognize that, sometimes you have to separate a little bit because that's not yours. That's a past part of your life. Now, you know what I'm saying? There's things that I can't be at, I don't need to be attending, and this and the other. I appreciate the invite. You understand what I'm saying? And I still appreciate the love, and I give the love back because it's pure and genuine. But my biological blood is my children and my grandchildren and my mother. And we were broken. Yeah. We were very broken. We were very divided. So, you know what I'm saying? So to go through that and then go through a divorce, like, and then when you're going through that, you lose in every bit of, you don't have nothing. And then you connect with people and you make these little bridges with families and, with friends, and you build these little families, but it's still something missing because it ain't yours. And you see everybody and you appreciate them and you look at people and you long for that. You long for that. But when you finally get to a place and start longing for it and you start praying to God for that. Right. And asking God not to change the people, but God, change me. Yeah. Make me a better me so I can understand them better. So I can understand their hurt and their brokenness, or why it was such a confusion and division and all these different things going on. Change me and help me to grow, and help me to be an example if I have to be, but teach me the lessons as I'm going and help me to right the wrongs. That's so right. I had to get to that place, and my prayer had to change because I got tired of coveting other people's stuff. I got tired of wanting everybody, not in a place of jealousy, but I wanted that. Because I didn't have that mother-daughter thing, because we were so separated and it was such a dysfunctional relationship. You know what I'm saying? So to be in a place, and I'm 50 now, to be able to say, God, I am thankful for my family and entirety and mean that thing, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling because I was always thankful for him, but it was hurtful because it was just like, I'm thankful for her sometimes, but not all the time. Not when she messy, I ain't thankful for her. Not when she funky, I'm not thankful for her. Not when she, you know what I'm saying, always want to fight and always want to cause stress. I'm not thankful for her. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm thankful. I'm thankful for her trials and her tribulations. I'm even thankful for the faith that she has because it still teaches her to push. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So my mindset changed because my prayer life changed, my request changed, my longing went from a longing to, God, you said you give my heart's desires. So that means I desire for my family to be restored so we can have that and be in a place of thankfulness. You understand what I'm saying? To be in a place of we can be all in the room together and really have a love for one another and love on each other and not having to be a problem. And that's a great thing. So people have to understand that, like, in this season when God is trying to do something, this Thanksgiving was truly different for so many people
man.
who are willing to receive it. I'm telling you, our family is not the only family that went through this. I know there were other families that went through this and had the same experience.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I can
and
agree.
It was right on time because it was so needed.
Yeah.
It was so needed at a very important time in your life, because when you feel like you lost all these people and you so-called friends and you thought like you don't have nobody, but then God bring your family back in your place, especially when your family was never in your corner, but it's those same people that you started with that he bring you back to.
Yeah, back to the basics.
To the basics, because that's how we had to get back to get our relationship right with God. We had to go back to the basics.
Back to the basics.
Because the basics is where it's so simple and so plain, and it's right there in your face.
Yeah, that's the word he's been giving me lately. Back to the basics.
Yes.
Back to the basics. Back to the basics. You got to start back at square one. You know what I mean? Not square one, but you got to start back at where it all began. Where it all began, so that you can see where you are right now. You can see what it is for right now. I believe it. Yes. My Thanksgiving was truly blessed. It was quiet.
Yes.
It was peaceful. You know what I mean? I only had a very few people because my brothers and sisters were trying new things this year, and rightfully so. You know what I mean? And it was calm. I didn't have to put on too much like show, and there weren't a lot of people around where all my energy had to be pulled out. And it was just a blessing. And I had my worship in the morning. I mean, full blown, God had me in tears. Full worship that morning. And it just set the whole entire atmosphere. And it just feels so good. Like, I feel like at peace and free.
Yes.
At peace and free part. But we're learning ourselves, so that when we do come back together, it's peace.
Absolutely.
It's joy. It's love. It's, hey, it's a great time. You know what I mean? Like,
but this time it was different because the presence of God was there. When I told you we was joking around singing, but you can even hear the power in our joking. You can feel the anointing in it. Like when we were moving, and I said to my daughter, now my one daughter was busy upstairs, washing her kids and getting them situated. And my other daughter she was off somewhere in a different room. So it was only 3 of my daughters in there, my mom, myself, and grandkids, and we were all in there. And I'm like, something shifted. I said, now imagine if we was all in here on one accord, a few things would have broke. Because my daughter was like, did y'all just feel that power just move? Like, and did you just feel that? Like, it was just crazy. And it was just like, okay, God was just in the presence of it, in the midst of it. And I'm just like, like even to a Thanksgiving dinner, God will show up in those things. And, and they be like, well, God is not in everything. Yes, he is when you allow him to be.
Put this in your memory museum and store this day, you know what I mean, for the rest of your life. So when it does pop back, I'll be like, yo, you remember that Thanksgiving when we first all came back together, when so-and-so came back and all this other stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then y'all can really just talk about that because it's a memory just between y'all.
Yes.
And it'll warm your hearts, and it'll bind your spirits more. You know what I mean? And unify you guys, because it'll be like, man, that was a really peaceful time. And it may bring you back, you know what I mean, to that moment, and it may settle the current moment that you're in so that it doesn't go left. So it's a blessing. Not everything is meant.
Yes, those memories is something, because I'm telling you, I saw my mother have some with my oldest grandson who was 17. Like him, my mom was having some moments and he was laughing and joking. Then me and him we had a moment that me and him was laughing so hard that like, you can't breathe type of moments that you was laughing so hard. Me and him was laughing so hard, like everybody in the room just stopped, was like, what y'all two up to? What is y'all doing over there? And all we could do was laugh. And I was like, Shaquille, we can't ever talk about this with nobody but each other, okay? So it was just like, it was just our moment. But it felt so good. And and it was just like, because my grandson, like sometimes he'll randomly text me, and I remember he was all throughout the summer, he kept saying, Mima, can we have a Sunday dinner? You need to get the family together for a Sunday dinner. So I put it out there in the group chat. Nobody said nothing. And I said, grandson, I put it out there. Nobody said nothing. Nobody did nothing. And that's when we ended up having, finally, it came together. My daughter was here. She wasn't here when he kept trying to get us to have that Sunday dinner. So when she came, I was like, okay. So everybody was like, let's do it. So we had a pre-Thanksgiving, and it was the first thing. But then when we had Thanksgiving, you could tell he was so happy to have his whole family together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't say that about a lot of 17-year-old teenagers, but he was so happy to be in the moment with his family and to see us and to see the love, because him being the oldest, he's been through a lot of stuff with everybody when the other kids don't know about. He's seen some things that no other grandkids saw. You know what I'm saying? He saw some different things that his aunts went through, that even though he was born when, you know what I'm saying, like him and my youngest daughter, like what, 9.5 years apart. So it was like, that was her nephew and her baby brother. So he saw some things that his aunties went through as his aunties, you know what I mean? That was different than nobody else saw. So to see everybody in a place where he sees us all laughing, when he knows some of our stories, our sad stories, our hurts, our pain, and his mother included, and he saw us all in a place and enjoying that, and he was able to be a part of that, that was a great feeling.
Amen.
It's like, oh, you know, I get to sit at the big table this year with the adults. And that's what this feeling is, that God this year, he brought the family to the table and we all got to sit together. We all got to sit at the table this year. It was, the tables wasn't divided between the kids and the adults. He put us all together at one table, and that's what he did for so many different families. And that's what I'm thankful for. Not just for what he did for my family, but every family that he restored in this year, and that he's still restoring. Because I'm just because I know what it is to be broken and not have that.
Yeah.
So to see him doing that, it makes me so happy, because that shows you that he really does love, and he really is about family.
Mm-hmm.
He really, really is about family, and we got away from that. And to bring us back to that and to really appreciate that, that's a great thing. And I'm just thankful for every table this year that got to partake of that, every willing table, and those tables that wasn't willing. I'm thankful in advance for their willing and them coming into the fold to come to the table.
Amen. Amen. Good. Yeah, you sound good. You sound alive. You sound energized. All that good stuff. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, God is good. I can finally say I'm happy for me too, because normally I'd be like, "Oh, thank you, that's so nice." But you know what? I'm happy for me too. People used to make you feel bad for saying you happy about yourself. Why can't you be happy for yourself?
Oh shoot, I'm happy for myself. I'm telling you, my Thanksgiving was peace, and I'm happy about it. I have no issue. Great? I have nothing. I don't regret anything. I don't regret what I said, what I did. I have no regrets from this Thanksgiving. And that's the blessed part of it, is because there's been so many Thanksgivings where I've been like, man, I shouldn't have said that. I hurt that person's feeling, or this happened, or that happened. You know what I mean?
You know that's what I'm thankful for. And that's a good thing. So Thanksgiving, right? This was really great. And it was so funny because my daughter, she was sitting there talking, my oldest daughter, she was like, y'all don't understand how excited I was for this day. I mean, like, this is her, Thanksgiving was it's her favorite holiday. And she was like, I was just looking forward to this. Like, she texted everybody and she hosted, and, you know, it wasn't no problems. You know, we said, thank you for hosting. She's like, I was so excited about this day. I just knew it was going to be a good day.
Aww.
So, you know, so I'm just like, okay, guys, so you was working on each of our hearts separately.
That's right.
You was preparing us and letting us know. You was putting the anticipation and the love in us. Even when the children was trying to act up, or when the day was trying to get away from us, you still put it in perspective and made us understand and recognize what it was all about at the end of the day. You had us all in the place of excitement for this Thanksgiving, for this particular Thanksgiving. And I remember I said to my daughter, you know, I talked to her yesterday and I hugged her and I said to her, I said, you came home when you were supposed to come home. I said, God was doing something with the family and restoring it in such a way, but you had to be a part of it, because he needed you to know that you are not a mistake. You belong here. You belong with this family. You are a part of us, and we are a part of you, and we love you. We welcome you, and we embrace you, and we are here to help you so we can be right there with you while you're healing in the process, and know that no matter what, you know. And she just cried, and you know, because for so long she felt so lost and alone. I said, but God sent you home right on time when you needed us the most, and when we needed you, because he needed to do something for all of us at one time. So it was right on time. So, you know, it was just it was an amazing thing. So that's something to be thankful. Embrace your family. Be thankful for that thing. Get to that place of let's heal. I'll volunteer as tribute. If I got to be the one that it starts with, then I'll be that one. But it got to start somewhere, because I don't want to see my family go another this year, that year, so many years that is broken. And, you know, I mean, and don't get me wrong, you have the people that have their little bit of arguments when they do love on each other and they have their dysfunction. But let's get to a place where we don't have to argue, and we can just really have a good time and laugh it off. But we can also have healthy discussions when nobody's ready to pick up a knife and cut somebody else in the household. When nobody ready, let's take it outside and like we about to fight each other on the streets, like we didn't just come in here and break bread as a family. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't over here just throwing such insults and words that we will cut you down to the bone marrow with the words because our tongue is a sword. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not doing that this Thanksgiving where we're creating havoc and chaos and cutting somebody down to demean and to make them feel bad that they even decided to come. But we're welcoming each other and we're loving on each other so everybody goes, I'm so glad I came. That's the mindset everybody left with. I'm so glad I came. I'm so glad I was a part. I'm so thankful for that. And I think when we walk in that particular thankfulness, as God continues to build and he continues to give and continues to grow, the more we get to be thankful for it. You know what I'm saying? But you remain humble because you know where you came from. You knew you had to go through some grimy stuff to get there.
Yeah.
You had to go through some sludgy stuff to get there. You had to crawl in the mud sometimes. You had to crawl in the trenches. And sometimes you was crawling in the trenches. Most of the time, let's be real, you was crawling by yourself.
Yeah. That's not most of the time, sis. I'm not most of the time. The majority, all the time, you was crawling by yourself, even though you thought there was people in there crawling with you. They wasn't.
It wasn't.
You was crawling
and
by
the ones
yourself.
you desired to be in your corner, they were not.
Yeah. Yeah.
They weren't there. And you was like, they're supposed to be right here. Why they not here? Yeah. But when they would call you, you would go running.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, it's in those, so it's like we thankful, it's unnecessary that we allow the arguments or the hurt or the tryst and the things, the negativity to stretch for so long. But the fact that God is moving so quickly, what was done and held away so long, he can mend so quickly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He can mend so quickly and he can make those Leahs wipe away like they never existed and create new memories and create these new things. And I think it's necessary to create these new memories and these good memories. So when the next person does get called home, you get to celebrate and remember the good times and no longer have those bad feelings.
That's right.
You get to celebrate like, God, you restored us right on time because you knew what you was about to do. You knew you was about to call her home.
Mm-hmm.
You admitted that just in time. So nobody gets to walk away like, I never got an opportunity. Right. I'm going to jump in the grave. That's not going to fix it. You know what I mean? You being stubborn, it could have been fixed a long time ago. When they called you and invited you over and you said no, that was an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I mean? You rolled past the house 11 times. That was an opportunity, so it's just those different things. But you can't jumping in the grave. It's not going to change it. But forgiving yourself and letting it go and not dying with the person, but healing, still allowing the healing to take place so it don't continue for the next person with you and the next person or somebody else. They can see it happen to you so it don't happen to the next family members. So that's what it is. Somebody got to volunteer tribute. Somebody got to break the vicious cycle. Somebody got to be like, no more generational curses. We're now being set up for generational blessings.
Right.
We're changing the wording.
Right. That's right.
And that's what it's, and that's like, yo, I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for this. Like I didn't have no other words. When she was like, what was you thankful for? Lala. And I was just like, this right here, this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so crazy because normally we're a family that taking pictures and recording. We didn't do that. Because it wasn't like, it's not like we couldn't share it. It wasn't meant to be shared. It was our moment. It was something that we all needed to be caught up in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we took
it was necessary
either, and I didn't regret it at all. I'm like,
me either.
After it was over, I was like, man, we didn't take no pictures, no nothing. And I'm like, there was no need to be taken. Like this was
about us.
It's about us. Yeah.
It was just us, and we were good. You know what I mean? And it was good. I'm like, yeah. So we learned how to start to shut out and shut down.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Not everyone should be sitting at your table. That's right.
Not everybody. Nope. There's other tables. You don't got to fit everybody at your table.
Yeah. You've been listening to Fridays with Ty on Shift the Narrative podcast. Listen, I pray one day you'll see the need to shift the narrative in your mind. Not for anyone else, but for yourself. Because you are worth it. I am thankful and grateful for each and every one of you that has joined us today and every day. As always, I'm your host and fellow freedom fighter, Tyria. We will see you again, and thanks for listening to Fridays with Ty on Shift the Narrative podcast. Be free, y'all. Be free.